What's up guys, Bolt here bringing you a brand new car remake. In today's remake I am bringing you the 1967 Chevrolet Impala from the TV series Supernatural. Now I had a guy back in the day actually request this build over and over again, pretty much in multiple different build videos I did of, I think, Fast and Furious, I believe, maybe even actual movie builds and things like that. And I just kept on putting it off because it was a very simple, easy, and lackluster build. It didn't really provide too much of a challenge to me. But as the actual channel has grown and as we see the family has gotten bigger, I realized if you guys want to see it, and even though it's really simple to do and not take too long at all, I will put the effort in and actually make the said builds that you guys want. Some people requested certain builds that I have already had the car built or already took in the liberty of actually building and just never really actually got the chance to record the video or never really got around to doing so. So I'm going to start bringing them out. So you're going to see a bunch of them be coming out here in a little bit. And I will be putting the screenshots, the comments that people put for the certain builds they want on screen. That way, you know, they did actually request it and not just a random builds that I decided on doing. Thank you very much for the request in the build, guys. I mean, it is a really nice build to actually do if you actually like the car in general. Again, it's very lackluster, it's very simple, easy to do, and I'm going to go over it as fast as I can, so this video is not too long. I will say there's one car that I will not be making because the guy just annoyed the hell out of me, and it was the Toyota McLaren 720S from some movie or something. It was just, no, I'm just not doing it. So I'm sorry, but yeah. But I don't know much about this car other than it was in the show. It had like some nice cool design in the trunk, like a star and like some like I don't know exactly what the design was. I never really watched the show, I never really got into it. We can't really do that for the trunk, unfortunately. The interior is a little bit interesting. I'll go over that here in a little bit so you'll understand that. And I will also say that my plates don't work, but I will give the plate that is actually on the car and give it a representation or best representation of a plate you can do for the LSC color plates. If you have a custom Las Venturas plate, that works the best, but I mean, not a lot of people probably have that because it's modded and very hard to get. We're just going to go over and actually go over the main design of the car and how we actually build it. So what you want to do is go to the base price by going to the internet. You want to go to the travel and transport website. We'll go up here to the Arena War TV website. We'll go down here to the buy upgradable vehicles. As you can see here is right here on the main screen, and you want to go down and find the Impaler. Now, for most people, you're not going to be getting the trade price because if you go into it, you go down here to the trade price, it is $249,500, but not a lot of people are going to have the sponsorship tier reward for doing like all the Arena War races and things like that, raising up in the Arena War, which I don't even have it up that much. I think I have like maybe 30 or 40, something like that, and I don't have the discount for this. So if you do have the discount price, you're going to be paying $249,500 for that, so good luck for getting that. But most people like me, we're going to be paying the base price, which is the buy now price, which is $331,835. So this is going to show you what you can actually create it into, but we're actually just going to keep it stock. We're not going to change anything on it. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Anyways, once you have your car bought, because you can't choose the color, it's going to actually come as, I believe, this color right here. You're just going to meet us at the Los Santos car meet location, as you can see here. I was actually thinking about doing this at the LSC, but the lighting is very tricky and hard to do, and if I mess up on recording, then I got to redo it, and I got to worry about the sun, and yeah, just issues. So we're just going to go on with that, but I don't really have anything else to talk about, so we're just going to get in and customize the beauty. So as you pull in the Declasse Impalers in the muscle category, it is self-explanatory. It is based around, I would say, mainly an Impala, but not really the Impala we need, because the Impala from the actual TV series is a 4-door. This is only a 2-door, but it is still the best option we can go for. I use this for Dante Reyes's Impala as well, and I think it looks a lot closer for that one than this, but this is the closest thing I can get for this build. So as I go over in all my builds, I go over the overall look, the visual appearance, and the basic design, the car, and how it's portrayed in the movie, game, or anywhere else in general itself. Anything I don't go over is completely up to you. I just put these tables in on my build. If you want to recreate my build or take some things away from my build, you're more than welcome to. But without further ado, let's get into the build. So we're going to go down here to the bumpers. You want to go to the front bumper and you want to keep that stock. Like I said, this car is pretty much all stock, but I will talk a little bit about the actual car. I found a little bit of info on it. For the most part, it's going to be stock. So stock front bumper, best option there because it has a nice chrome bumper on there. And it does have the plate, which we actually do want on the front as well. After that, move on to the rear bumpers. You want to go with the molded rear bumper. This is kind of difficult to look at and everything, but it actually, like, if you go to the stock one, it goes all the way straight across, and if you go to this one, it kind of has like the kind of like fitting of the actual back end of the car, which we actually want. So that's why I went for the molded bumper right there. After that, move on to the exhaust. You want to go with the stock exhaust. It was coming out the actual back of the car, but we can't get that. The best thing you could go for is the stock exhaust, because it is still kind of coming out the back a little bit, but you could possibly get away with doing these, but I I personally wouldn't. I would just stick with the stock. Best option there. After that, move on to the splitters. You want to go the stock splitter. It didn't have no splitter on the front, so don't worry about adding or changing anything on there. From there, move on to the hood. You just want to go the stock hood. It didn't have no like intakes, no vents, no like blowers or anything. Yeah, it's kind of lackluster, like I said. So stock hood, best option there. After that, move on to the lights. You want to go through headlights, and you want to keep them stock. The lights were kind of like yellowish white, which is what the stock lights are, and they're the best option to go for. The stock lights are perfect, a mixture of yellow and white. It's just like a very light, like vanilla looking color to it. I'm going with the stock lights. After that, move on to the neon kits. You want to go to a neon layout. It's going to be none because it didn't have a neon on the actual car, which makes sense. I mean, it was a very old car. Why would you have neon on it? It just doesn't really fit for what we're trying to build, I think. So yeah, definitely go with none. After that, move on to the livery. I know I got yelled at a lot of times about saying that wrong. I called it livery, but hey, to each his own. Livery, whatever you want to call it, we're going to put none because it doesn't have any kind of livery to it. It's just basic, plain and simple. Nice and clean. After that, move on to the plate. You want to go with the yellow and blue, which is the closest representation to the Kansas style plate for the car, I think, personally, in the game, because you don't want no white one, you don't want a black one, and you don't want a green or a red one. I think the closest thing you're going to get is a blue one. It's like a really light blue. That's why I said if you have the option to get a Las Venturas plate, which is an unreleased rare plate, get it. If not, definitely go with the yellow and blue. Like I said before, I don't have any option to do custom plates, so I'm not going to be actually putting a custom plate on there. I just have my classic plate on there. But the custom plate you want to go for, if you have the option to actually make it, is KAZ space 2Y5. Again, that is KAZ space 2Y5. Now that's the custom plate that's on the car in the actual TV series and everything like that. So it's what you want to go for. And like I said, closest thing you're going to get to for an LC color plate is a yellow and blue. If you have the option to do a Las Venturas plate, I would highly recommend it, but not a lot of people are going to be able to do that. Saving respray for last, move on to the spoiler. You want to go with none. Didn't have no spoiler, no little lip, no little fins or ducktails or like drag wings or anything like that. So yeah, just go none. It does give it less traction, but I mean, it's better for the build overall. After that, move on to the suspension. I went with the stock suspension just because it doesn't look like it's lowered. And I feel like this kind of muscle car and this back in the day, they wouldn't lower it. If anything, probably down to a lowered at max. But me personally, I'm just keeping it stock. From the ride height pictures I see on the side and everything, it doesn't look like it's lowered at all. Like the fenders fit the wheels pretty decently and everything from where it is stock. But like I said, if you really want to lower it, I would lower it down to a lowered. And that's about as far as I would go. After that, move on to the turbo. I highly recommend not adding a turbo. Now, the reason for this is, in the lore of the TV series, apparently his car was only supposed to have 275 horsepower, not like have a turbo or a supercharger. It was just pretty much supposed to be bone dry, mainly stock. But the real life car actually had 550 horsepower because it had a big block in it. But I mean, I would highly recommend not adding it. You can add it if you want. You can't really notice it all that well. It does give it a bit more power, a bit more oomph. But I mean, from the TV series and what I've been watching, this car is not really all that fast. It's a nice looking car. It's an old car, but it's not supposed to be all that fast. So I think turbo, best option to go for is none, but that is completely up to you. After that, move on to the wheels. We're going to go to the wheel type. And drum roll, please. Any of them, doesn't matter, because I think that these stock rims are the best option to go for. They have the same kind of design to them. They are not deep dish, which is kind of sad, but they actually have the kind of decent looking tread. They're decently sized. They have the decent kind of rim size and rim design to them to the actual real life car, and I think they fit the best. After that, move on to the wheel color. Again, they're going to be stock, so you can't change them, but they are chrome, so we can't change them anyways. After that, move on to the tires. You want to go to tire design. You can't do anything with that because they are actually just stock tires. You can't change anything on the stock tires, but it's good because it doesn't have any tire text or anything on there, so we're good on there. After that, move on to tire enhancements. You can add bulletproof tires on if you wish. This is GT Online, I can understand that, but to keep it more realistic to the actual car, I would go with standard tires. It wasn't lip drifting, so I wouldn't go with low grips, so either standard tires or bulletproof tires. That's completely up to you. After that, move on to the tire smoke. I would just go with the white tire smoke. I don't see a point in changing this. Last for respray is windows. You want to go with a nice clean none. It definitely didn't have no tint, so definitely don't add any tint to it, so definitely go with none. Best option there. Alright, and I'll see you guys in 2 seconds with a rolled steel primer color. Alright, and we're back. As you can see, I have my car and my primer out rolled steel. Pretty much what I always do for all my builds. That way you know what colors I'm going to be doing for the LC color and custom screw color. Again, there's gonna be two of them, but yeah, I mean, I've used one of them multiple times. Actually, I've used both of them in builds multiple times. But we're gonna go over the LSC color first. You want to go to the primary. Go down here to the classics, and you just want to go up to the classic black. I would say go down to metallics, but you're gonna be spending more money, and you're gonna have to actually remove the pearl. If you go to classics, you don't have to worry about any of that. You just pretty much put on the basic black, and you're good to go. After that, move on to the secondary color. You want to go to chrome, and you want to put that as chrome because the actual bumper and everything were chrome. So yes, the bumpers, the trim, the rims, and the mirrors were all chrome. That's what you want to go for there. After that, move on to the trim color. Now this is where it gets a little bit debatable. So the steering wheel and the seats were black. So if you want to go for the black interior, you can. It's more than welcome if you want to do that. That's the one I'm personally going to go for just because I think it looks a little bit better. But the actual dash, the doors, the floors, and pretty much everything else I think in the car were a tan color, and the tan color that I think works the best for that is a sandy brown. So again, it is completely up to you which one you're going to go for. We can't change one without changing the other. If I could just change the seats and stuff to a certain color and just keep the dash and everything else the same, I would be happy with that. So I would either go with either a sandy brown interior or a black interior. Up to you. And that is the LSC color done, guys. So I mean, it's pretty easy to do. Like I said, there's not really much to it. It's very simple, easy to do. Yeah, it is a very viable option if you don't have the option to do the custom crew color, which again is, drumroll please, pure black. Shocking, right? I know, right? Yeah, it's going to be pure black. I will put the hex code on screen right now, as well as the hex code and RGB down in the description below for you guys. You see the color change in 3, 2, 1. As you can see, it gets a lot darker, a lot blacker, and it just looks so much better. Pure black is just the way the actual black in-game should be, but it's not. And I'm kind of sad about that. But yeah, you just want to apply that just like that. The secondary color is still going to be chrome because we do want the chrome accents on the bumpers, the rims, trim, and the mirrors. And again, the trim color is completely up to you. If you want to go with the black, you can go with the black. If you want to go with the sandy brown, you can go with the sandy brown. Me personally, I'm going with the black. I think it looks better. And yeah, guys, that's it. That's how you recreate the 1967 Chevrolet Impala from the TV series Supernatural. Like I said, very easy, simplistic build to do. This video is probably not going to be very long. I'm fairly happy with all of it, other than possibly like the interior design I could change up a little bit, and maybe having a 4-door option for this car. And maybe a little bit more deep dish or better rims, but other than that, I'm not having really anything too much to complain about. So let's go back to our parking spot. Alright, let's go outside. Wow, now that we're outside, I guess I'll do a little spin for you guys in the rain, because I can't control the weather, of course. It's still somewhat light out, which is decent. Yeah, that's pretty much the build, guys. Let's go for a little bit of a drive. As you can see, the sun is still kind of out, so you can still see the car in all its glory. But yeah, like I said, this car is very simplistic and easy to do. I highly doubt most people have the trade price for it, because you need to do like a bunch of the Arena War stuff to actually increase your Arena War level, and then have the trade price for this car. And I don't know exactly when it unlocks, so I apologize about that, not getting that information for you guys. So anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the build. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, leave comments down in the comment section down below for what build you'd like to see next. Like I said, I got a bunch of builds planned. I'm going to be recording a few builds today and editing them throughout the week, so that'll be fun. And I will definitely bring out more of the Fast and Furious builds. I have a few more builds planned for that as well. A few that maybe some people don't even know are a thing, or you could actually do in GTA, so stay tuned for that. Links down in the description below for the Discord and the crew. Free to join, free to leave anytime you wish. And with all that being said, guys, hope you have a great day/night. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for all the love and support, as always. And I hope to see you guys in the next one. Catch you guys later. And I'm out. Peace.